if you improve by 1% each week in any skill, okay, you're going to be ridiculously good at that skill after a couple years.
First of all, take a second and imagine, like, okay, what would I take? Like a penny for 30 days that doubles every day, or $1 million cash in this moment? $1 million. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode where we sat down with Mike Diamond. Today, for episode number 537, we are going to talk to you about how short-term thinking is jeffing you.
Mike Diamond.
Diamonds
of forever.
So, Alan actually sent me... What is it? The
21 Irrefutable Laws of Money.
Laws of Money by Brian Tracy. One of the things he says, and this was a game changer for Alan and myself, probably you more because you understand the numbers more than I do, but so in the last 20% of something, you get 80% of the results.
Right.
So if you're thinking that you're a month into your podcast journey and you don't have 1 million downloads or 1 million listens, or you're a year into business, our goal with this episode is to try to illuminate how important it is to switch from short-term now to long-term. You're playing a forever game at the end of the day.
Right. So this is basically rooted in what an exponential growth curve is. So the difference between, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 versus 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32 plus 64 plus 128. And I could go on and on and on. But the point is so you've heard me talk a lot about the compound effect. And what you don't know, though, is, okay, so we'll use podcasting as an example just because that's what we study. We have right now a weekly growth rate of 1.365%.
And if you're not a math person, hang in with this episode, because one of the reasons we're doing it is because we know that emotionally driven people usually don't care about math, or they have an aversion to it like I used to.
Yeah, and it's super... You know what? I think that I'll make a shift here because I think I know that. But if people knew the downside of not knowing math, I think they would be into it. So let me do this instead. You're at college for 4 years. So if you're out there listening and you went to college, I know, Kev, you didn't.
No.
But
for the birds.
When you graduate, okay, it's not like that is the indicator. It's not like suddenly you're successful or suddenly you're smart or suddenly you're worthy. That graduation day is not when you became good at what you do. It's when you got recognized for it.
Right.
So think about it this way, right? You're in school for 4 full years, being successful every day, every time you choose to study, every time you stay up late or wake up early, every time you go to class. Like, success is a daily thing, but yet all of the recognition and all of the results and rewards come at the tail end. I think that's a good analogy for what we're talking about.
So this is the analogy I'm going to use.
Okay.
And this is in the compound effect.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if I was to sit you guys, if you're watching or listening to this right now, if I was to sit you down and say, I have a check for $1 million, or I'm going to give you a penny that doubles every single day for 30 days. First of all, take a second and imagine, like, okay, what would I take? Like a penny for 30 days that doubles every day, or $1 million cash in this moment? $1 million. Okay? So, I think this is an important understanding of not only what we're talking about, how 80% of the results come in the last 20%, but this is long-term exponentials, okay?
Yes.
So, obviously, day one, the penny is worth a penny, right? Then it goes to 2, 4, 6, 8.
No,
2,
4, 8.
2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, right?
Right.
On let's just say day 15, you have $163.84.
Yeah, and I'm over here with my million.
Still a million.
Still a million.
Yeah. We get to day 20, and you have $5,242. Pretty good.
Not bad.
It's a good amount of cash.
But I have my million.
You have your million.
Right.
Day 25, we get up to $167,772. It's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of cash.
Not a million.
But not a million.
Not a million.
Not a million.
We get to, let's just do this. Day 28 out of 30. You have $1,342,177. Okay, now you're probably thinking, all right, so I would have made a little bit more money. On day 30, which is only 2 days after day 28, you have $5,368,709.12. So in this, and again, I'm not a math guy either, but in this example, you are getting the 80% of the results in the last 20%
of the journey.
Which, if you only go 50%,
you're still getting
60%, 70%, you're only going to get 20% of the results.
Well, what's interesting is you'll still get 80% of the total results of that game, but I know what you're saying.
That blows my mind.
So let me try to explain this as best I can.
Hang in there. If you're not into math, hang in there.
So, let's say that you stopped doubling the penny 10 days in. You're still going to get, if you add it up,
right,
all of it, you're still going to get the 80% of the results in the last 20% of the journey.
Right.
This is Pareto's principle, so I want to make sure that we're making everyone aware of that. Pareto's principle simply states, it's called the 80-20 rule. It's a law that basically 20% of your daily actions are actually producing 80% of the outputs, the results. Now, if you add that to the law of compounding, like we're talking about here, it gets a little bit complicated. But basically what you need to know is that consistency is everything. Yeah. Consistency is everything. If you improve by 1% each week in any skill, okay, you're going to be ridiculously good at that skill after a couple years. Like ridiculously good. Because improving by 1% is actually really challenging to do. But you don't need to make these giant leaps. Like people say, "Oh, I intend to be a millionaire." What they don't understand is that someone saving $1,000 a week or $1,000 a month, rather, literally would be a millionaire no matter what if they put it in an investment account and just keep doing that over 20, 30 years, no question. Mm-hmm. Anyone can. The question is who does it consistently. And so the main takeaway here is with consistency, all things are possible. Without consistency, almost nothing is.
Yeah. So this is, if you think about it, and this is one of the reasons I really am leaning into, like, if you don't like what you do, there's a good chance you're never going to be the best at it. And that's okay. Maybe you're not, but you're not going to maximize your potential most likely.
Right.
Again, this is 537 episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now think of this, guys, if you're watching or listening. Every new listener is a potential 537 listens.
Right.
Every single person. That's not counting they may become a client, they may come to a speech, they may tell 10 of their friends about us. Like, that's the long game. What we have now, the 326,000 listens, we'll say, that is nothing compared to where it will be as long as we continue to do this consistently.
Right.
I think if you're emotionally driven, you probably have a very short perception of time. It's right now and maybe this year. We were on Frank Rich's show, The Superhuman Life, and he asked me about what would you say to somebody who wants to set goals? And in my mind, it was like, I don't know if I can even answer that. Oh, that's a question. We have an interview with Dave after this. I'm going to ask Dave that.
Yeah.
I don't even know that I can answer that because now I'm thinking years and years. Right now is just part of the journey.
Right.
Right? So that was, and if you're watching or listening and saying, well, that's me, that was me for a long, long time, and I very much understand that. I would say get around somebody who has a math mind or really start leaning into like that part of personal development because it's just super important. It's super important.
If any of this doesn't land for you fully, please read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I can tell you for certain that the version of you who has not read that book will not be as successful as the version of you who does. It just is true. That book will help you be more successful.
And that's where the compounding penny was.
Yeah.
That's where I saw it. I don't know if it was there.
It was doubling for 31 days instead of 30,
okay.
Which is 10 million instead of 5 million.
Well, that sounds better than my example.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's unreasonably important. We always say, and if you've ever worked with me as a podcast client, we're playing the long game. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the Instagram algorithm. Like, I don't care about that stuff. Right. Does it matter? Sure. Is it going to help you get more traction? Sure. But if you're doing this for long enough, you will be successful eventually.
Right.
Keyword being eventually.
Keyword.
Speaking of podcasting, if you are looking to start your own show, grow it, scale it, monetize it, get better guests, become a better speaker, whatever it is, Alan and I have Next Level Podcast Solutions, everything from audio editing all the way up to completely producing your episodes for you. And we also do weekly coaching for business and podcasting skill as well. Reach out, go to nextleveluniverse.com and you can contact us through there. Also, if you are looking to bring in motivated, inspired, passionate speakers into your organization, whether it's middle school, high school, college, a corporation, Alan and I have been honing our craft, again, 540 episodes almost. We're doing these weekly masterminds as practice so we can up our speaking game. We would absolutely love to serve you guys. We will gladly do the first speech for free just so we can come in and add value and get to know you guys at a better, deeper level.
Many of you are entrepreneurs out there, and I want to say this. So if you have teams that you want us to come in and train, maybe you have a team that's not doing well on sales, or maybe they're not as productive virtually, Kevin and I also can do team trainings. Also, so tonight, this is dropping Monday, so tonight we're actually going to have Brant Pinvidic speaking about the 3-minute rule, how to say less and get more out of any pitch or presentation. That's going to be absolute fire. And every single week we do a Next Level Mastermind. We have featured guests, we pick topics, sort of like keynotes, but they're also Q&A, and they're super, super powerful. But the most important part about those masterminds isn't just what you're going to learn. That's very important, but it's who you're going to learn from and the community. So we have you put your Instagram handle in the chat. If you want to network and you want to get your voice out there, you want to get your products and services out there, put your Instagram handle in the chat. Everyone adds everybody. It's a growing, amazing community, and you got to be on those masterminds.
It is. And speaking of masterminds, tomorrow for episode number 538, we have our mastermind from last week, how to level up your health in 2021. We're not talking just about fitness. We're talking about your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, all the things that really matter, right? It's not just about going to the gym, but it's also about doing the stuff for your mind as well and all of that happy jazz. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we don't have fans, we have family, and we will talk to you on the next one.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.